Possiamo, possiamo con
Hey guys, I'm back. Can you hear me? If any of you can confirm that you're hearing me, can you please type? I know you. I'm not able to. Okay, so you see me. I'm really sorry for the delay. I needed to change the room as I didn't saw anyone in the call at 5 sharp for me, like 8:30 for you. I didn't know if the session is still on, and I was at my desk. So to be able to talk with you, I moved to a conference room that we use as my colleagues are still working downstairs. So it's a bit confusing for me to talk and not seeing anyone, but I hope I'll pass this and it'll be everything fine. If you have any questions, I will look at the chat and please write them there and I will read and answer to them. So the first thing that I will also need to share with you, I think you already have it, um, is the link for the Etherpad that I used in order to build a structure for this session. Do you have the link near you? I'm gonna go now and check it. Public. Um, do you have the link? Mozilla.org/. I don't see any confirmation from him. Okay. So I'm trying now to get to the Etherpads and follow the structure that was mentioned there. Forgot the P. Public Etherpad Mozilla. As I'm not at my computer, I need to write all the URLs, so that's a bit longer than expected. Sorry for that. And I'm in. Anything? Well, if you do not have it yet, here is the link for the structure that I will have. So, in the first topic was for you guys to introduce yourself. So I guess we cannot do that at the moment, but please do add your name in the Etherpad when you get the chance. If you are not now with your laptop or computer or phones or tablet, any device, please write when you get at home and you are able to. As says in the Etherpad, I'm Ioana Kioran and I'm a senior QA at Solvision, which is a Romanian company that at the moment has a contract with Mozilla. I am on a team that works for Firefox for Android QA, and we test everything that comes in the Firefox desktop too, here at Solvision. You can find me on Twitter at Ioana_CIS, which are my initials. If you have any questions at all, you can mail me at ioana@mozilla.com, and you can also tweet me, as mentioned, at ioana_Duchess. So after the brief introduction that I made, because I don't hear you, I will just start by explaining you how QA is done at Mozilla. So I will do this for both Firefox Desktop and Firefox for Android, as it's pretty much very similar process. Please let me know if you hear me well, and also if you can, because I've raised myself, and also if you can see the tablet very well. Okay, I think I should be closer. So I just want to draw some stuff so you guys can understand better what it is exactly. So as you probably know, we're already working with 4 channels, and those are the following. So we have 6 weeks at the moment, at the beginning of each version of Firefox. And for example, let's talk about Firefox 46, which is pretty new now. So for Firefox 46, for 6 weeks starting last week, we will have 46 in the nightly channel, We call it nightly because the builds are done over the night. Each night builds another build, so everything that the coders, the developers do in each day enters the nightly regularly in the following day, so we can test it. For us, as we are in Eastern European time zone, these nightly updates will come around noon. So I guess for you it'll be 3 p.m., 4 p.m., something like that. Pretty much a daily, not a nightly build, but they are considered them after the PST time zone. Okay, so after 6 weeks, everything that was implemented in the version goes to the next one, which is called Aurora, and stays there for another 6 weeks. In this process, you will see that all major features or everything that we want to ship in this version should get a stable version, like a stable state. What I mean by this, I mean like when you develop a feature in the nightly build, you might get crashes. Your code might affect another code that's already present in the product. So at this point, you have to consider your code should be mature and doesn't create any crashes, no more dependencies that makes bugs in another feature maybe. So in Aurora, all features and things you want to implement should have more stable situation. After another 6 weeks, as you know, this goes to, I don't think you can see them, but well, I'll take a screenshot and show you, and I'm also talking while I'm writing, so maybe you can understand. I'm not sure if I can take the camera, I'll move it like this only, but I don't think it's better. So I'll take a screenshot and share with you. So I just consider another 6 weeks after the product is in Aurora, it goes into the beta channel. And here in beta, we don't have daily updates. So in beta version, we only have 1 or 2 builds per week, depending. For Firefox for Android, we only have 1 build that goes out on Tuesdays, and for Firefox for desktop, we have 2 builds, one on Tuesday and one on Friday. So most of the time you can see Thursday around the beta for desktop also. Follow the QMO page, quality.mozilla.org, and you will see the announcements there. Everything that I'm talking now, I'll add more details in the Etherpad if I'm missing something. So everything that you hear, you will find it there as a note. Okay, so after the 6 weeks in beta, which brings roughly around 6, 7 to 12 builds tested, built, it goes out into the final version release. So into the release period, it's also 6 weeks and it stays there, but we do not test it anymore. Only if by chance there is a big crash or a security gap that we find out about and we really want to fix it. So we create a respin or a cam spill, we also call it, depending on the severity of it, and we release, like, for example, 4301. So those are just exceptions from the rule, and we consider it case by case. Regularly, we should not have any of the .0 versions. So this is the part about channels and about versions that we have. For example, on Firefox on Android, we mostly test only nightly and beta. We do test also Aurora, but it has lower time assigned, and also release, but again, that's only if something happens and we need to verify. For desktop, all major work currently is also done for nightly and beta, but there are 2 teams. The validation team works only on beta, tries to verify the Tuesday and Friday builds, sign them off like we do on Android too, and after that, with the time that they spend on features or exploratory investigations. There's currently a new team which takes care of everything that goes into nightly as features, keep a close discussion with the developers, the implementers of the features, so they will start building more test plans. You will see this activity under the wiki pages, so don't hesitate to contact me if you need the links for them. Okay, so I will also say the testing on desktop and also mobile depends very much on the hardware that you have. And here on desktop, I mean the machine that you use, what graphic board it has, how fast it is, how many ROMs you have. And well, in the end, also a lot depends on the operating system that you have. The most used one of the users is Firefox. Of Firefox is Windows. And after that, I don't have a rank, but we also tested on OS 6 and on Linux, which in Supervision we tested under Ubuntu. For the mobile side, there is another specific issue that we face is that many of your devices, as you know, are blocked by your sellers, by the telephony companies they sell. They block apps that are not signed, like from Google Play. So at this point, you can only install beta and release. If you have this under the settings and you check allow me to install unknown apps, they will let you install even Nightly and Aurora. If you think that testing on mobile should be easier than desktop facing the hardware because we don't have maybe so many graphic boards or maybe I don't know differences, but trust me, it is worse than desktop because we have so many devices that we have to test, and they are different in screen resolution, they are different in hardware that we use, they are different in architecture made. So we used to have ARMv6 and 7 allowed. Now we only test on ARMv7 because Firefox is not anymore available for ARMv6. We do also test phones under the Intel processor architecture, which is called x86. And we also look at major hardware productions like Samsung, HTC, LGs, which have Motorola, which have a lot of devices, and many of the issues that we found are specific to one of them only. Okay, so till a few weeks ago, we were also under T-Store, and but at the moment we only have the application on the Google Play and the Alex. For the mobile, I will add that another difference in while you test, and you have to be more careful, is to see how many hardware buttons you have, because we have the back button also implemented in several parts of Fennec, we'll call Fennec Firefox for Android, and some devices, as they have the hardware button, they should not have the software one. I think there is a bug now that will say they want to implement the back button all the time, so we don't have these kind of differences, which created a lot of bugs. I'm checking the chat all the time, so if you have questions or you cannot see me well or something like that, please let me know and I'll try to make it better. Okay, another thing that you should know about is the Firefox account. And you can use this both on desktop, both on Android, and also on Firefox OS. It's one place where you can manage your bookmarks, your history, your folders, everything that you have as a browser history is on the Firefox accounts, and we have it implemented in Fennec too, and also in Firefox for Android, Firefox OS. One issue to keep in mind is the web compatibility. I will just briefly mention it now. If you want to test more on this side, which is a different component, but we do have to mention it in Firefox testing because it produces a lot of bugs, is the differences that a page uses and renders as different, I mean, in different browser. This sentence was totally wrong, sorry. So a website might display or maybe rendered differently in browser, as you know, because they use different layers. So a page might look mobile in Chrome on Android, but it might return as desktop in Firefox for Android. In this situation, there is a web compatibility issue, we call it, and I will ask you to go to webcompat.org and add a bug there. I'm adding the email address, the website in the Etherpad. If you have more questions about how we can test web compatibility better, I will answer to that separately, and I will give you more inputs about it, maybe in another session if you want. Okay, going forward. So after I will deeply show you the process more, I will mention also the tools that we use. The major one and the most important one is Bugzilla, and we probably used it for different things. So if you go to bugzilla.mozilla.org, you will see the bug tracker that we use here. There are several links on the whole wide web that will help you write a better bug. But to be easier for you in this session, I will only mention the things that you might have questions about. And I will invite you to the MDM page with guidelines about how to write a better bug. So when you enter a new bug, especially if you have a new account, they will ask you to, they will, no, not ask you, they will generate your basic layer. So that basic layer doesn't have many of the components that we need. So if you look for show more advanced options, you will get them all. So let's open a page. If you have a computer, again, you can follow my example too. If not, I will ask you to do it when you get at home. So let's try to make a bug on the desktop, for example. Are you okay with that? Good. So I've entered, and I want to enter a new bug. I'll go to new. There is the second tab up in the page. I'll choose Firefox. So here in the page, when you want to enter a new bug, you'll see that we have Core, Firefox, Firefox OS, and several more, but the options are limited. There may be 15 of them. If you need other product or you don't know exactly where to put it, just go in the search bar upstairs and up in that part and enter a keyword that you think like it is related to keyboard. They will give you even specific the component more than the product. Also, if you find a Firefox issue, but you think it's about the plugins or about the core implementation, like, I don't know, we do not interpret well the code, and you think it's a core issue, that goes under core, because that affects also Firefox Android and Firefox Desktop, and probably Firefox OS too. So let's enter a new bug under Firefox. You will see fields like product, which is already set to Firefox, different components, versions, severity, and platform. Let's talk about this first before going further. So components, if you find an issue with your bookmarks, you'll go to bookmarks and history. But if you find if you use developer tools, a specific one, and something doesn't work well, you will choose the developer tool that tool component. If you're talking, I cannot hear you. I hear some noise on in the back, so please write a question in the Google chat. You consider there are also device permission, disabilities, file handling, general documentation, a lot of categories. If you do not know where your bug should go, just enter the general component and somebody will triage them. I will say weekly, but if there are too many or if there is a holiday period like now, they probably will take them more time. Severity, pretty much all the bugs are normal, especially in Mozilla, we consider them. If it's a crash, it is by default severity critical. But if something blocks you, like you cannot load any page or it is missing a main button, like back button or forward button, that's a major bug. And you can change the severity from normal to major. The platform refers to whether you use the 32 or 64 bits, and also you can choose the operating system near it to be more specific about it. Most of the times, as mentioned, we test on nightly, so we will choose the trunk version. But if you find this in a release or in Aurora or in beta, you can choose the branch accordingly. Now you have availability till 46 branch which is nice. For the summary, I will suggest it to be very, very clear and also a bit short. So if you find a bug, don't try to put the steps to reproduce in the summary. Like, I cannot see my bookmarks if I go from the click on the menu in desktop and choose something. That's too long. You can easily say only can't access my bookmarks from settings menu, and in the body you'll add more details. If you cannot make it short, put it a long version. Nobody will get offended, but it will be hard to understand the bug when you just parse like 100 bugs like they have for triage. After that, I will recommend in the body of the bug in the description section to add what operating system exactly you had, which version, and most of them are generated by default. After that, put steps to reproduce and easily say 1, go to the menu button. 2, choose from the menu history. 3, look at the bookmarks from yesterday. And after that, you can easily say actual result. I'm not able to see my bookmarks. Expected result. I should be able to see my bookmarks if I go in the menu like that. If you can take a picture or a video, I would suggest you to add it to the bug too. If it is a picture, you can attach it easily, or a short video, you can attach it easily in Bugzilla. If you take a video, what I do is I put it in YouTube, but I do not put it publicly. I put it unlisted and just give a link to it in the bug. Most of the times, this is what you have to enter. Us, the senior QAs that we work here, we set more flags or stuff like that, but you're not supposed to do it, so don't even mind about that. We can discuss about this in another session if you want, or in private when we ask me to. As mentioned again, I will suggest you to go to the MDM page and read the document, bug writing guidelines about how to enter a proper bug, which won't request from us a lot of work to reproduce and try. To mention more is the types of bugs. If you put it a new feature or you want something to be implemented, I would suggest you to add the enhancement tag. And if you use the platform and mention from crashes, for example, it will be critical by default. If you find a crash, you can find its log and its report if you go to about 2 points crashes, and we will give you a link to the report. In the report, you will see all the things, the debugging material that you will need, and also you can see if there is another bug already filled for that. If there is no bugs for it, you can just tap one of the fields mentioning Firefox, Firefox for Android, and you can easily share from there. I just realized that I can share my screen probably better from here. Okay, and to show you would be about crashes, but as I'm on a new machine, most certainly I won't have crashes. Yeah, so this is the page. You will have seen links to it. I hope it works. So if you had the crash, it will be here, and you could have easily opened the report. Let's see if I can find easily a crash. I should be able to see it under my bugs. Submitted bugs. I'm using my contributor ID because I'm also doing a lot of testing, which I'm not paid for because I also contribute to Mozilla. So that's why I only have 200 bucks here. This is my contributor account, not my company one. So here, if I go, you will see that I've entered a bug, which has the report here, and this is a crash report. You see the bug is already mentioned here. If I wouldn't enter the bug, it will say no bugs related, and you could just go pick Firefox, core plugins, or toolkit. Can you hear me or can you see what I'm sharing? I hear some noises in the back and I'm not clear if there are questions or issues. Okay, I'll wait till you write. So also this is the web compat site. Okay. I will add the link in the etherpad too. Okay, for the severity and priority, I would say not to think about them because the people from like developers or QAs from our side will work on that, and most of the times we do not change them. Developers will do a triage and they will set a priority for them, and yeah, they will work on it afterwards. Component, I already mentioned that you have to choose the most close ones. If you do not have one, I will suggest to go with general. For descriptions, the things that you need certainly are the steps to reproduce, actual and expected result. We'll just write them now as short names and I'll add more details afterwards. And again, as mentioned before, you need the phone type, the machine you use, like it's, I don't know, it's a Dell machine with 400. We don't need memory, only RAM memory, so 1, 2, 3, 4 gigs that you have. This, what is mentioned, the nice to have, are deeper debugging notes that you can generate. It's either like a screenshot or a video recording. If you're Android, we will suggest you to take some ADB logcats. If you have it, the SDK from Android on your computer installed, you can easily take that. I will add links more here. And for this, it's not mandatory, but it will help us to triage it better. Okay, so you want to start testing when you have a new build. For desktop at the moment, they stopped using this tool. But for test management, we use Mostrep, and you can find it under mostrep.mozilla.org. And it is very, very easy to use. And I'll demonstrate you now. Mostrep.mozilla.org. We still use it for Firefox or Android, so you'll see a lot of tests there with for this bit. You can go to test run, and I'll let's see if this one. So if you logged, I will log in so you can easily understand. I hope it's my passport, to be honest. Yes. Okay, so if I'm going to run a test, I will choose easily Firefox for Android, which is mobile Firefox. Can you please type in chat if you hear me and you still follow me? Okay, I'll choose the version. Let's do it for 46. You have a nightly smoke ready. For all older versions, we have way more tests to be done, as you can see. But this is new, only last week started and we had a lot of stuff to verify, so we didn't do a lot of work on it. I'll choose this, I'll choose my operating system to be 40, for example, and I'll start running tests. So you'll have your phone. This is also applied for desktop. But in the case you want to do it for Android, you'll just take your phone, install the application, and from that you can start reading a test case. Let's say play YouTube video. As you see, there are a prerequisite. You have to have the YouTube app installed for this test case. Otherwise, you'll not be able to see the same results. You just go to YouTube, the page should load. Okay, choose a video and click it. The YouTube app starts without any issues. We also have test case that it says that you should request desktop site and to see if you can play it in Fennec, for example. For other projects like Firefox OS, they also have test case here, and you can run them that too. As you can see results. I'm not sure that a regular user can see it, but it's also available for you either way. Here, when somebody ran it already, you can see my colleague Theodora marked it as passed today. Okay. I've added in the YouTube add more details about what categories we have. BFTs means that we run every test that it's written for a feature. A small test contains only around 40 test cases, and the basic functionality, like the minimal that an app should pass before going to the market. Like we should be sure that the loads page, that you can reach settings menu, and you can see your history, your bookmarks, everything. Okay. We also have, for those who do not want to create an account on test like this, very complicated and direct test, you can go to One and Done, which is under oneanddone.mozilla.org, and there's a few dedicated test cases for mobile and Firefox desktop. The tasks versus the test, the difference is that in the task, we'll give you more details, and we will not use short words like in one test. The tests are meant to be run for those who did QA before, or they don't need many details when they test something. And I will try to show you now on this. I don't want to sign in, so that's why I'm looking for something that I can see easily. Okay, what compatibility test for Android. So I can see why what this matters, what are the prerequisites and steps to do it. It's super detailed. So I hope you won't find any issues while running it. And of course, there is a list of famed people that already run this, and you can also contact the owner of the task, or in this case, he wasn't the owner, it's the QA assigned to it. Okay. So also added some links for the wiki, mostweb, and quality.mozilla.org, which is the main page for the QA. You can find there the next events that we host, and also we have a category for contributor of the month. It's contributor spotlight, the results. You can see who participated, which are the new bugs filter most test days. So I encourage you to visit this page too. Okay, so the theoretical part I already mentioned about. Let me know if you have questions. It was a lot of information, but as I could not see you, I didn't know when to stop. So at the moment, I will just invite you all to open Firefox, whatever you have it on desktop or you have it on mobile. Work your daily stuff, and if you see a bug, just go to Bugzilla. If you want to run tests with us, I will invite you to join us on IRC and to start running in Mousetrap or for desktop to ask on IRC the link to the document. They use Google Docs and they have the test here. If you run the test and you find something it's missing or you find a bug, again, you have to go to Bugzilla. It's that simple. As a general workaround, in the first week of each cycle, the 6-week cycle, like it was last week, we have a lot of work because we have a new beta, we have a new Aurora. We have 2 days dedicated to Aurora, you have 1 day dedicated to beta. So last week was a full week for me, and unfortunately I could not join you then because on Tuesday we had the respin 43.0.1, a second bill for it, and it went out. We are happy about that, but as it was a critical respin, we needed to join the testing, and it was high priority for us. I could not join the session. I'm really sorry about that. But if you join the QA team, you will see that unfortunately not all the time it's all about good testing. It's also about critical and fast testing sometimes as we roll out new security bugs or new builds and new versions that need to get to the user in a better shape. So I would ask you now if you have any specific question. I will stop sharing my screen if I can. And again, if you need me to answer something and you don't want to write it now, contact me all times and I'll try to reply to you as fast as I can.
I guess for question, we have the India channel, India IRC. So maybe I am looking forward in question. If I will get, I will deliver to you. In the meantime, are you logged in India channel
No,
IRC?
I'm not. Can you give me the credential or like the link, the group?
Okay, I am giving you the link.
And I'll join it and you can ping me there too. Yeah. It's the Telegram channel or IRC channel? Oh, okay. Okay, Cubic. Okay, it's under India. Okay, I can join that when I get to my computer. Thank you. Any other questions you guys might have? I don't hear any questions. Should we close the call and you will reach me if needed?
Yes, I guess they don't have any questions. So
Okay, so again, you can reach me at Ioana@mozilla.com or on Twitter at Ioana_CIS. It was nice talking to you guys, and I'm waiting for your questions. Have a good evening there, and talk to you soon. Bye.
thank you, Yana.